Okay, a lot of stuff got done today. We applied power. We actually even started the car, got the radiator all sorted out. And then one of the problems with this car is the fan used to drag the old, in fact you can see a lot of the shroud is missing. Well, the fan that was in there was pretty big. So I went to a slightly smaller fan. Luckily I got a stash of those. Got the new shroud in finally. Pretty happy with that. The new clips, they obviously worked because that's now bolted in. Here is the battery terminal setup. Pretty happy with that. That came out really nice. Like I said, the car's actually been started. We haven't done much with it yet. Okay. Come back here. You can see that plate is now mounted, and I'll show you from the other side in a minute. Okay. Now we did have to take the IR sensor back out because it's very temperamental, so we're going to order a new one. Also, the way I had the button mounted with the hot glue, it didn't work out, so I had to make a plate out of some aluminum, and now that's bolted in, so now the button is as solid as the radio is, and that's a good thing. Let's see what else here. Probably the biggest thing is now the radio works, you know, the one that's hidden there. And you can see back in here. So with just 3 screws, you can take that whole plate down. You know, and we've got power on some blocks, ground on some blocks. Works out pretty nice. And it actually works. And that'll be neater. We were just testing, so I didn't want to spend any time looming anything and then have to undo it. So, gotta get the... As things are getting tested, we're getting closer to putting things back together for real. I've got to program those 2 modules so that I can get the console mounted. Get the carpet trimmed to fit. Got to get the kick panels in, the sill plates, get some seats in. Whatever is ticking on the back of that every time I move the car is quite frustrating. Let's see here. Yeah, something back there is vibrating on the lift. So when we turn her on, you can hear the fuel pump runs, and obviously the fuel pump also was primed. You heard that da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that, of course, is the beauty of fuel injection, is it just starts right up. So I won't run her for very long because it's not quite full of coolant yet. And there's a lot of adjustment in here, and we did check and timed it out. This stays on for 1 minute after the door has been closed. So once you shut it down, once you close the door, a minute later that will go away. So I bet that's pretty handy if you needed to keep track of your mileage on something. Let's see. You can see pretty much everything is populated now. Yeah, we're getting really close to putting her all back together. But the car starts, runs. I imagine eventually if we have brakes, we can find out if it drives, but with no brakes, we can't find out. So as soon as I can get that driver's kick panel in, then I can get the e-brake in, we can get the booster in, and finish the looming in here. I can get the cowl stuff set up, we can get the hood on it, and yeah, we're getting close. I'm dying to test the horns, but obviously we don't have the steering wheel on yet, so we'll get there. Yeah, so unfortunately, ShopDog's favorite person in the world is here, so he's not out here. But, and I think I showed in a previous video that, yeah, this one does, oh, well, turn the key on. This one does turn on. And if I put an 8-track in it, it would play it. But since at the moment, we don't actually have the antenna mounted to anything yet, neither radio is hooked up to the aerial at this point, because we want to split it, and we haven't figured out how we want to do that yet. But that's pretty low on the list of concerns. But outside of that, everything works. You know, hasn't been a whole lot of rework. Hasn't been too bad. Let's see here. Oh, everything, yeah, it's all coming together very nicely. So another week or 2, this might actually drive out of here. So, you know, and then That's everything in here, because as soon as that's done, I can finish that Buick down there. Started that a couple years ago, and then it was not available for a few years, and now it's all painted and pretty, and got to finish the wiring in that. So it drives, but it's got a couple little quirks and a couple things like the reverse lights and stuff that just weren't done. So we'll get those. So yeah, look at that. Sweet pea is almost done.